So we were doing last time what I had called the Nasadiya Sukta of Savitri, the hymn of creation. Nasadiya Sukta in Rigveda is the hymn of creation. And it's a wonderful hymn, very powerful hymn. It is Rigveda Mandala 10, hymn number 129. Hymn number 129. Nasadiya Sukta it is called. Maybe one day I can recite it after a little practice, you see. It's very beautiful. See, but finally what that hymn says is, he gives the entire history and all that thing, how out of the dark inconscient ocean things started happening, all that thing. And finally he says that, but who knows what it is all this. The Nasadiya Sukta is not giving any further clue. The Rigveda Nasadiya Sukta is not giving a definite clue what is going to be the ultimate objective of this creation. He says finally, well, he kind of gives up. Who knows? Perhaps he also does not know. He says, perhaps he also does not know what is going to be the future of it. But in that sense, this Nasadiya Sukta is absolutely definite what is going to happen. That his human portion, we must grow divine. His human portion, we must grow divine. So this kind of a statement is not there at all in the Nasadiya Sukta of the Rigveda, you see. He gives up, he says, who knows, you see, all that. Because the whole thing is such a mysterious thing, kept in such great secrecy, so to say, that we cannot speak about anything at all regarding it. Now here you have a complete revelation, a perfect advance over the Nasadiya Sukta, that we are sons of God and must be even as He. His human portion, we must grow divine. Absolute definite, you see. The objective of the creation is completely stated in this line. What for this creation, what for this travail, what for this plunge, everything is kind of stated in this particular sentence. And then he says, our life is a paradox with God for key. He has given also that how this is going to happen, how we are going to be as He, how are we going to grow divine. For that, God is the key. God, our life is a paradox with God. Now, here we are sons of God, all right. Devasya Putra, we are the sons of God, Devasya Putra, and must be even as He. Well, there cannot be different. But still there is a difference in the sense that we are individual souls, whereas His dimensions are of a different type. Individual expressing the divine qualities is what we are going to grow as divine. Individual expressing the divine qualities, that is the entire purpose of manifestation here, you see. And for that, God is the key. Now, this sentence, this clause, this part, we must grow divine. Yes, the objective is fixed. But who is going to make us divine? The obligation is on we. We must grow divine. The greater obligation is we must grow divine, you see. It is not that He is going to make you divine. He is not going to impose His divinity on you. We have to grow divine, you see. There is something required from our side for that to be attained, that to be achieved, you see. And of course, that key is with whom? That key is with us. That key is with us. What is the key? God. Means we had to use God as the key to become divine, to grow divine. To grow divine, you see. So we had to operate the key. The key is not with God, the key is with us. Key is in our hand. Now what is the key? We have to grow, we must grow. That is specified completely. We must grow. Actually, for this to happen, his human portion, we must grow divine. For this to happen, three things are important, three things are necessary. The first is our aspiration, human aspiration. Unless that human aspiration is there, we cannot make genuine, spiritual, authentic progress. Human aspiration is the first thing. Then there has to be also the okay from above, the sanction. You are aspiring for something, this thing, that thing, that thing. There has to be an answering grace from above, you see. Now that is the second thing. So we had to grow, we had to aspire. There has to be a sanction from above. You want it? Okay, let it be so, sanction. Now the execution of the whole process, to grow divine, the execution, you have got the prayer, you have got the invocation, you got the aspiration, you have got the okay from above, all those things. But the link of making the process work out, that is the work of the presence and power of the divine Shakti. The three are necessary, therefore. The divine Shakti who carries out this process, it is she who is going to do. You have to aspire, there has to be sanction, and then she works out. That is exactly what we have got to do. See. Last time I was telling you, we had to aspire. The Upanishads say, tapa prabhava. We had to do tapasya. By the strength, by the fire of tapasya, you have to bring down the divine in us. We have to do tapasya for that thing. Tapa prabhava. And then there has to be Deva Prasad, the boon, the sanction, Deva, God, Prasad, boon from above, you see. So both the things are required. Tapa prabhava from below, Deva Prasad from above, and between the two, the link is the Divine Mother's work here, you see. Then only the human portion can become divine, you see. The point is, it is already built into the system, into the scheme of things, it is already present. The Nasadya Sukta of Savitri insists that ultimately there has to be a divine manifestation. And for that manifestation to occur, these three conditions, stipulations have to work together constantly, you see. So it is with that process, so that is the key for God. We have to discover that, you see. But meanwhile, well, that is the great, grand objective, great, grand, glorious objective of this creation. Why the divine took the plunge? Why the divine has become his own opposite? Why the divine has become the denier of divine? The divine has become the denier of divine, has become void, has created inconscience. That out of it, the multiplicity of the divine comes into existence. It is for the, he was alone, he was feeling lonely, he wanted companions, and therefore the whole thing was set into motion, you see. So that is assured in the scheme of things, it is already there. When you are drawing the plan, then it is already stipulated, I am going to do this thing for this purpose. But what happens in between? Going to do in the meanwhile, what happens in between? In the meanwhile, all the shadow caused by a dream. See, a dream, your idea of a divine manifestation in this inconscient world is a dream, it is not a reality at the moment. is not a reality at the moment, it is a dream. Therefore, all is a shadow, and it is that dream which has cast a shadow on all these happenings here. But meanwhile, all is a shadow cast by a dream. And to the musing divine spirit, the spirit who is steady, who is musing, contemplating life and himself down the aspect of a myth. So the whole thing looks like a myth for him at the moment, you see. The burden of a long, unmeaning tale. Yeah, see why all these things, suffering, jealousy, hatred, all these things, joy also is there. So that looks like a burden for them. And it is a tale. The whole process of creation, evolution is a long tale of which we have no idea at all. The burden of a long unmeaning tale. For the key is hid by the inconscient kept. For the key is hid and by the inconscient kept. God is the key, all right. But where is God? God is present in the inconscient. That key is present in the inconscient itself. So it's a wonderful kind of an inconscient also, that it is giving you the clue how to proceed further. It is giving you a clue how to proceed further, you see. For the key is hid and by the inconscient kept. It is there. God is kind of locked in the inconscient, and it is He who has to go forward. The secret God beneath the threshold dwells down below our consciousness.